Okay, so you said Netflix? Mm-hmm. 10 episodes? All right. You got drama? All right. Crime? Sex? Drugs? Ballet? Yeah. Yeah, let's do it. All right, welcome to Tate's Take. If you're new here, I give spoiler-free TV and movie reviews. Give you a little background, basically let you know if I think it's worth checking out or not. If that's something you're into, go ahead and hit that subscribe button for your boy. For my regular Tate's Takers, let's not dance around the topic of Tiny Pretty Things. Get it? Dancing around because it's about ballet? Ugh, never mind. Tiny Pretty Things is the new Netflix series based on the novel of the same name by Sana Charapacha and Danielle Clayton. The show was created by Michael McLennan, who's worked on stuff like Queer as Folk and Bomb Girls. Never heard of him. Being that the show takes place in a fancy ballet academy, most of the actors are actual dancers. But I'll get into the actors later on in the video when I get into my take. Tiny Pretty Things takes place in Chicago, and some of the scenes were shot in those iconic Chicago landmarks, but most of the series was shot last year in Toronto. Alright, plot time. Tiny Pretty Things is about this fancy ballet academy in Chicago called the Archer. It's the only elite school in Chicago, and kids from all over the world try to get in and chase their dreams. All these kids are competing for the best roles in each of the academy's big productions. And they're all like savages, so they'll do whatever it takes to get ahead. Of course, this wouldn't be a good teen drama if we didn't have a queen bee. That's Cassie. She's kind of like the Regina George of this place. Most popular, best dancer, gets all the solos, so naturally, gets all the hate. One day, the kids are all drunk having this party in the dorms, which was probably against school policy, but I ain't no snitch. Anyway, things get out of hand, and somehow Cassie, the queen bee, falls from the roof and ends up in a coma. No one knows if she fell off this roof or if she got pushed off the roof. But there's plenty of people at that school with a lot to gain with Cassie out of the way. So the show takes us on this journey of trying to solve this mystery of exactly what happened to Cassie Shore. And now we got a series. So what's my take? Man, there's just so much to unpack here. So I'm gonna do a breakdown of the cast and then I'll get into the show. Starting with Kylie Jefferson, who plays the lead Nevaeh. Kylie, in real life, has been dancing since she was 4 years old. And when she was the mature age of 6 years old, she was actually the youngest ever to be accepted into the academy level of Debbie Allen's dance school. All right. And besides this show, she's still doing big things because she just got nominated for an award for choreographing Schoolboy Q in Travis Scott's Chopsticks video. It's pretty cool. In the show, Nevaeh was originally rejected by the school, but now she gets a second chance because Cassie's spot is open. You know, because she fell off the roof. So of course, being that this is an elite ballet academy, all the girls hate on her when she gets there. But she's a boss and she doesn't really care, especially because the school's giving her all this shine being one of the best in the group. She doesn't really know much about this Cassie drama, but that certainly doesn't stop her from getting all up in the Kool-Aid. Next, we got Kashmir Gillette, who plays Bet. Kashmir is also a dancer with years of formal training. In the show, she's pretty much next in line to be the queen bee. Seems like she got a lot to gain if Cassie's out of the way. Anyway, besides being second to Cassie, Bet's older sister's like a legit dancer, and she's like critically acclaimed, so she's also dealing with that complex. So when this new girl Nevaeh comes and is getting all the shine, obviously Bet is pissed. She's like, I was next. So obviously she hates Nevaeh now too. Then we got Daniela Norman. Daniela was also professionally trained and studied at the National Ballet. But unlike most of the other dancers in the show, she actually has acting experience. You may have seen her in Cats. Who acts for that movie again? Anyway, in the show, Daniela plays June, who's dealing with her super strict mom who thinks she sucks if she doesn't make lead. That's just not good parenting. Anyway, if Cassie's out of the picture, that's one less person getting in her way of her mother's approval. Poor thing. Next, my man Brennan Clost. Brennan studied at the National Ballet School of Canada and even got a scholarship to Juilliard. Juilliard, you may recall, as the school that Julia Stiles was trying to get into in the teen drama classic, Save the Last Dance. Why do we accept this? The 2000s were weird. Anyway, Brennan plays Shane in the show, and he's actually legit. Shane is kind of like the comedic relief of the show. And to be fair, this show is not funny, but most of the attempts come from Shane. He's openly gay, and he's got his fair share of scandals. Next up, Michael Sue Rosen. He's from New York City and trained at the School of American Ballet for 9 years. In the show, he plays Nabil. Nabil was dating Cassie at the time of the incident, and he's been trying to be there for her throughout this coma. freaking Nabil. Like, Nabil in the show comes to the Archer from France. Michael, in real life, is half Asian, half white. What does this mean? It means we have to sit through 10 episodes of the worst French accent in TV history. Like, why does it have to be French? Why can't he just be half Asian, half white? It don't even match the book. Like, this new Nabil is all over the place. He's probably the worst in the show. There's actually a scene when he's sitting on the hospital bed with Cassie, and for anyone who just joined, she's in a coma, fell off the roof, but we don't know if she fell or someone pushed her. Anyway, he's showing her YouTube videos. And how is he always allowed in the room? There's another scene where the parents are making literal life or death decisions, and he's trying to weigh in. Like, bro, that's not your wife. That's your summer love, and she don't even... Listen, who's next? Of course, Nabil's worst enemy, Caleb, who's played by Damon J. Gillespie. Damon studied performing arts in Chicago. He's done some big work on Broadway with Disney, and he was also a star on the NBC show Rise. In the show, he's the tough guy from the Midwest, or like somewhere in the South. Again, accents. There's actually a scene where someone does something good for him, and he says, "That was mighty kind of you." But like, not as a joke. I've never heard that phrase in real life, not as a joke. Anyway, he's got some nice juicy scandal in the show as well. Moving along, the last two students I'll highlight here. First is Oren, who's played by Barton Cowperwaith. What a name. Of course, also a real dancer. In the show, he plays Beth's boyfriend, so he's kind of like royalty by association, but he's dealing with his own demons, like with his weight and other things. Finally, the entire show is being narrated by Cassie, you know, the girl in the coma. She's played by Anna Maish, and you'll hear her and see her in some flashbacks. This show is wild. Like, I had no idea what to think about it going into it. Obviously, I never read the book, but there's no way the book could be this crazy. I don't know how to put this, so I'm just gonna say it. These are the horniest kids on TV. Yeah, I said it. It's out there. The book says it's for teens and young adults, but in the first episode, I'm seeing butt cheeks and freakdowns. If you don't know what a freakdown is, you're too young for this review, and you're way too young for this TV show. I'm here watching it thinking it's gonna be like a Disney show with some Pretty Little Liars vibes. Next thing I know, titties are out. Yo, should be escalating on Netflix. The good thing about the show is that you actually are invested in the story. By the time you watch the first episode, you really want to get this closure, what the hell happened to Cassie on the roof. It's kind of like a not as good version of Law & Order. Because you know if you start a Law & Order episode, you gotta finish, because you can't go through life without that closure. Plus, if you like drama and scandal and love triangles, you get it all here. Guys are hooking up with girls, guys are hooking up with guys, students are hooking up with faculty. Plus, everyone could do splits. Believe it or not, those are the real positives of the show. So what's wrong with it? Well, like I said, most of the cast are dancers first, and they're definitely not actors, and you can tell. It's not the worst acting in the world, but it definitely has that low-grade soap opera feel to it. And a lot of the times has a real low-budget feel to it too. For example, you'll see some moments in the show where there's people outside of the main cast, but they're in the shot, and they're being spoken to, but not speaking back. And that's because they don't want to pay them, because obviously you make a lot less money as an extra without speaking lines. Tate, now you're just being dramatic. Every TV show has extras that don't speak. Okay, no problem. Here's an example. There's a red carpet scene. They're about to do this big production. The faculty members are walking on the red carpet, about to answer questions to the media. Now, if this is a normal TV show, they would run up, "Oh my God, how do you feel about the show? Who pushed Cassie? Why are these kids so horny?" Shit like that. But no, not in Tiny Pretty Things. All the reporters run up, and the woman just starts talking, I guess answering what she thinks they would ask if they were allowed to talk. The writing on the show is just so random, and not just the thank you kindly. There's just so many examples. Another thing, this is a dance school, so they spend a lot of time in the steam room, and obviously in the steam room, you're butt naked. But they'll be in there butt naked, talking about murder accusations, and I'm not talking about the towel. Just butt. No one talks about murder butt naked. There's definitely a butt naked code, and this murder's not there. You just can't talk about it. And these kids talk about that girl getting pushed like every day, so they just weave it into the most random conversations. Just crazy writing all around. Another example is the main cop that's investigating this crime. Like, she probably has the weakest lines besides Nabil. And she just pops up out of nowhere. She's like Suzette from the Selena show. Just everywhere you look, this cop is there. And her backstory is so confusing, I still don't even understand it. And of course, like any other cop show, it's one where like the captain's like, hey, stay off this case. And she's like, okay. And then still investigates it. It's like she has a weird obsession with these kids. You'll see. Last thing on the writing, I promise. The faculty. And I hope that these fancy ballet schools aren't this intense in real life, because they be talking to these kids any type of way. There's a scene where the instructor tells the girl she's dancing like a virgin. She tells him, I am a virgin. Like, what the hell? I tell y'all, the show is wild. I tried to tell you in the beginning. We got another scene with Monique. Monique's the woman that runs the school, and there's about to be this big production, and everyone's backstage, and then the cops are pulling up because I guess they got a lead, and she tells them, hey, you can't be back here. Like, you worried about ticket sales? Like, they're not sneaking in. They're gonna arrest someone. It's the police. Anyway, random fun fact, Monique is actually played by Lauren Holly from Dumb and Dumber. Crazy. There's just so many countless things that make you scratch your head when you watch this show. Last thing, I promise. The dorms obviously have roof access. That's how Cassie got in this mess in the first place. But the kids just keep going on the roof. Like, if you knew your classmate was in a literal coma because of a roof fall, you don't think you want to hang out in the cafeteria? What do I know? What I do know is that I think I'm going to give Tiny Pretty Things 2.5 stars. You got to know what you're getting with this. If you're looking for some highbrow show about kids in the fancy world of ballet, it's not this. This is some guilty pleasure teen drama, perfect for the holidays when hopefully school and work is winding down for you. As crazy and sleazy as it is, the show does actually touch on some real topics, like how tough these schools can be on kids, issues with weight, sexuality, religion, even borderline sex trafficking. I told you in the beginning, it's a lot. If you're into dance, you'll definitely appreciate the actual performances in the show. Also, very cool to see a black girl as the lead in a show about ballet. If you got the extra time and you're into that Pretty Little Liars meets Black Swan vibe, check it out. All 10 episodes are available right now on Netflix. As always, thanks for checking out Tate's Take. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to hit that like and that subscribe button. In the comments, dying to hear what y'all think about the show. Let me know. Appreciate the time, y'all. Thanks.